Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's call, where we
All right, so good evening to you all, to ambassadors across the globe. Please, I'm sure you cannot hear me, right? So um, we should all share the link. We should share the link so that we can start. Please, can you all hear me? We should share the link so that we can start. It seems due to network issue, our host is out. So I'm going to lead the presentation. Share the link. Share the link. Share the link. Share the link so that we can start. Share the link so that we can start. Hope you can all hear me loud and clear. Can you all hear me loud and clear? So please share the link so that we can start. Hmm. I don't know if someone can hear me on the line. So
Yeah, we
let
can
me.
hear you.
So you
Yes, we
cannot
can
hear me,
hear
right?
you.
Okay. So let us pick me a
Yes,
host,
sir.
pick me a co-host there so that I can be able to control the meeting. Okay. Lennox, If you can hear me, make me you are the host, so make me the co-host so that I can be able to handle the meeting. Right, so guys, let's share the link. Okay, let's share the link so that you can start. Yeah, let's share the link. All right, so I think we have to hit at least 40 people so that we can start. So please share the link. Once we hit 40 people here, we are starting right away. Okay. So we are starting straight up and you are not waiting for anyone. And you know, today, um, from agreement, we are going to take time to explain from the basics. So especially, I urge that we share the link to all your downlines, especially the newly activated members for them to join because we've learned a lot of things here. And to those who are yet to join, it's going to be disadvantage to them. So this is an opportunity for them to also grab the next lesson and then also engage themselves in the system. So please try your best to share the link with your team members so that they can join us, right? Please, when you join the meeting, mute your video and then your call. Let me see if all right, all right, all right, all right. Okay, so let's start. All right, so good evening to you all once again.
Good evening
Um,
too.
all right, so please let me control this thing. All right, okay, so guys, I think this evening session is about futures trading, and this is where we empower minds, we train individuals to understand the concept of trading on the futures markets. So for the sake of members, this lesson is going to we are going to take this session very slow We are going to start afresh to teach everyone to understand the concept of trading on the futures market. So I urge every individual to get ready, get prepared, and let's get on board. All right, good. Now you should understand what you need to know is that this training is important. So far as your trading journey is concerned, this trading is very, very important. This training is very, very important. Okay. And one thing is that I've always been saying this, that if you really want to become someone that you've never been before, you want to get a particular result, you want to get an exceptional result, you want to increase your trading strategies, you want to become the best of yourself when it comes to trading, okay, you'd always have to prepare yourself to develop a new strategy, a new skills, a new knowledge. So this is the reason why some of these meetings are important, right? So most of you, when you have to join meetings, sometimes you feel maybe your leaders or your uplines or your team leaders are distracting you, they are disturbing you. No, you are here to build a lifetime skill for yourself, which can pay you forever, right? That is the reason why we are here this evening. So I will still use this opportunity to encourage you to share the link for your team members, especially your members, your direct members, your team members to be here. Hmm? Look, let me tell you, the progress of your business also depends on your team. So if you want to build a global business where you are the only person here without your downlines, you are not building a business, you are building a disaster. Hmm? That is the reason why you need to be here with your team members. So that when you learn and when they learn, can help you to grow and they can also grow. Hmm? And sometimes the unfortunate thing is that those who wouldn't join early, they will be the people that will complain that I did not understand. Repeat, go over again. Hmm? That is the reason why you have to be here on time. Join us here, share the link with your team members, let them join us so we go make the progress together. Do you get it? Exactly. Right? So let's start. Let's start. All right, so let me share my screen. Um, okay, so I think, please, let me check. You see, due to network issue, Leader Julius got out of the meeting. So please, the host should make me a co-host so that I can be able to proceed with the meeting. I can see Lennox, you are the host, so please kindly make me a co-host so that I can be able to start the meeting. Without that, it seems we only have to talk. We wouldn't be able to share screen to learn more. Okay. All right. So I don't know. Please, whoever is closer to the host now should try to chat him so that he can be able to do the needful for us to proceed. Okay. So I guess Leader Julius is in now. All right. So once you make me a co-host, we are starting right away. Okay. All right. So thank you, my leader. Okay. So guys, let me share my screen for us to go. Okay. So my screen is shared now. Mm. All right. So I guess we all have my screen shared and we can all proceed now. You all have my screen shared and we can all proceed. All right. So guys, like I said, this evening we are going over getting the concept of trading on the futures market. And it is essential for every individual or every trader to understand the concept of trading on the futures market. Okay, the concept of trading on the futures market. Now, just like the sports market, how you've been able to master the sports market, it is also important to master the futures market, master the skills involved in trading on the futures market, understand the concepts involved in trading on the futures market. They are all profitable markets. In as much as they are profitable, we need to understand the skills, the strategies, and the knowledge involved so that we can be able to make good use of it, right? So this is like I said, I'm going to take time to explain to you what the futures market is about, what entails in the futures market, and how the trader can be able to utilize the futures market on real fuel to make profits, right? So if you are ready to follow this session and you can hear me loud and clear, give me one in the chat for me to know if you can hear me loud and clear and you're ready to follow this session. Give me one in the chat so that you can go straight away. Give me one in the chat. If you are ready to be my friend for us to proceed with the lesson, give me one in the chat. Give me one in the chat. Give me one in the chat. Wow, good. All right. So now let's go. So let's get our board. Okay. So mm, okay. Now we said trading on the futures market. Futures market. And over here, when we talk of the futures market, another term too that we mostly describe on the futures market is called perpetual market. Perpetual market. mm, Perpetual market, or some others also term it as derivatives. Derivatives. mm, Derivatives market. Okay. So you may either see futures, futures perpetual or derivatives. Futures perpetual market or derivatives. Now, in trading, we have different forms of markets in trading, okay? Especially in crypto markets. We have different forms of trading in the crypto market. Over here, we focus on trading on the spot market and then the futures market. The spot market and the futures market. Now, I know you are familiar, you've mastered, you've understood the concept of trading on the spot market. So let's take it slowly, grab the knowledge on the futures market. When we talk of trading on the futures market, I will take time to compare the knowledge on the spot market to the futures market for you to know the differences. So the spot market is not the same as the futures market. Okay. The spot market is not the same as the futures market. That is the reason why we are taking time to learn this lesson very well. So when we talk of the futures market, we describe the futures market as a contract market. A contract market. That is another thing to another description for the futures market. Or a market based on contracts. So the futures market is a market based on contracts. Why do we say that the futures market is a market based on contracts? Why do we say the futures market is a market based on contracts? Now, it's very simple. Comparing this to the spot market is a market based on ownership. Okay, so the trader who trades on the spot market owns the asset, and then the trader who trades on the futures market signs a contract, signs up what a contract, and with this contract, the trader do not own the asset, or the trader does not own the asset, so he's only going on a prediction of price value. So when it comes to the futures market, the trader focuses on predicting the prices of an asset, and then also based on the agreement on the contract, he tends to do is make profit based on the contract. So when it comes to trading on the futures market, it's a contract. And once something becomes a contract, which is there is an agreement. Once something becomes a contract, it simply means there will be an agreement. So it's going to be an agreement between two people. And which people are we talking about? Between the trader and then the exchange. Okay, between the trader, the exchange, and then the trader. So when it comes to trading on the futures market, it's a contract between the trader and then the exchange. What are the terms and conditions apply in this contract? Okay, what are the terms and conditions applied in this contract? It's very simple. So on the futures market, the reason why it explicitly becomes a contract is that there is a trader who wants to raise more money to trade, and there is an exchange who is willing to borrow you more money to trade. Now listen, there is a trader who wants more money to trade, and there is an exchange who wants to borrow the trader money to trade. Eh? So in the system of borrowing you money, they said they are giving you what we call leverage. Okay, leverage, leverage. Now, actually, when we talk of leverage, leverage is a system built to raise power for individuals. So, for instance, in our traditional terms, when someone wants to jack a car or remove a car tire, okay, when someone wants to remove a car tire, because the individual cannot carry the car in order to remove the car tire, he will need what we call car jack, okay, jack. Now, what is the work of the jack? The work of the jack is to help the individual or the driver to lift the car so that he can be able to remove the car tire. So that he can be able to remove the car tire. Now, in the case of doing this, the jack becomes what you call leverage. The jack becomes what you call leverage. Leverage. Okay? The jack becomes what we call leverage. Why? Because the driver cannot carry the car in order to remove the tire. The driver cannot carry the car in order to remove the car tire. Because the driver cannot carry the car to remove the car tire, he just need what we call a jack. And with the help of the jack, now he will be able to remove the car tire with ease. So in that case, we call the jack as what? Leverage. So when we talk of leverage, leverage gives you the power to do what you cannot do, to get the results you cannot get alone, right? That is the reason why there is a saying that successful people build leverage. Successful people build what? Leverage, or they use leverage. So therefore, it simply means if you want to grow faster, if you want to grow faster, the easiest way to grow faster is by building what? Leverage, or using leverage. The easiest way to grow faster is by using leverage. This means you cannot do it alone. Eh? You cannot do what? You cannot do it alone. And since you cannot do it alone, all what you need is what? It's a leverage. So when it comes to trading on the futures market, they said it's a contract. And because there is a trader who needs more money to trade, and there is exchange who is going to borrow you money, they are going to help you do what? Leverage on the system. They are going to leverage on your capital based on the system. Okay, are you following? Are you following? Are you following? Are you following? React for me to know if you are following. Are you following? Are you following? Good. Very good. Now we can proceed. Okay. So now that is the meaning of what? Leverage. So when it comes to the crypto market, how is leverage important and how is it applied? Okay. So over here, the trader needs more money to trade. So let's assume I have $1. I want to get into the market with assumed capital of $20. All what I need is what is leverage. This simply means if I don't have a leverage in the market, I will need $20 to venture into the market. But with the help of my leverage, I will just use $1 to go into the market with an assumed money of what? Of $20. So over here, how is the leverage applicable here? So now in trading on the future perpetual market, we are going to see things like 1x, 2x, 3x, 15x, 20x, and so on and so forth. So with this leverage, this is what we call it leverage. So when the trader is trading, when the trader is trading, pay attention to this. Pay attention to what? Pay attention to this. So when the trader is trading, he uses what we call leverage. So let's assume the trader is having $10. Okay, $10. So let's assume the trader is having $10. So $10, the trader wants to go for a leverage of let's say 10x. The trader wants to go for a leverage of let's say 10x. It simply means with that $10, it simply means the trader is going for a leverage of 110 times 10, which is going to give you 100. 100. It simply means the trader wants to go into the market with a position amount of what? Or with an amount of $100. So with this, your original money is $10, and then your leverage amount is $100. Your original money is $10, and then your leverage amount is what? Is $100. Let me repeat again. I'm going slow because I want you to understand this. I want the new activated member, the person who activated today, to understand this lesson. I want the person who don't understand this lesson to understand this lesson. Now, so with this leverage, you just need power to control the market with your little amount of money or your less amount of what money. So over here, your $100 in the market, you are going for a leverage of 20x, or let's assume 10x. Let me use 10x. Okay, so 10x. With this leverage of 10x that you are venturing into the market, it simply means you want to go into the market with a capital of which is 10 times 10, which is going to give you $1,000. $1,000. It simply means the trader is going into the market with 1,000 USDT. Eh? If you understand this leverage, give me one in the chat for me to see if you understand. If you understand this leverage, give me one in the chat. If you understand this leverage, give me one in the chat. If you understand the leverage, give me one in the chat. If you understand the leverage, give me one in the chat. If you understand the leverage, give me one in the chat. I guess only few people are following. If you understand the leverage, give me one in the chat. Hmm? All right. Very good. Very good. Okay. So now let's proceed. Let's proceed. So now you've understood the leverage, right? Now, the next thing that you are going to see, we said the futures market is a market based on a contract. The market based on a contract. And because this is a contract, the trader is having focus to make something meaningful out of the market based on a particular position. Now, we all know that in the crypto market, the market is volatile. And due to the volatility nature of the market, the market follows different trends, mostly two trends, either an uptrend or a downtrend. Either an uptrend or a downtrend. So we have three different trends in the market, or three forms of markets. We have an uptrend market, downtrend market, and then also ranging market. Okay. Now, mostly we discuss the two because the ranging market is not common, or mostly we will call it the equilibrium market, unlike the uptrend and then the downtrend. So, if it is not blue, if it is not black, it is white. That is what Brazil. If it is not black, it is white. So in this market, if the market is not going up, it is going down. If it is not going down, it is going up. This means when it comes to trading on the futures market, the trader can think of how he can access opportunities in the market. The trader can think of how he can access opportunities in the market either by looking onto the uptrend or looking up to the downtrend. Eh? The trader would decide or would have to look for two opportunities, either by searching for opportunities in an uptrend or downtrend. So in the case of the trader, searching for opportunities in an uptrend, when you talk of an uptrend, that is the market is rising. That is what in terms of uptrend. Now when you talk of downtrend, it simply means the market is falling. Hmm? So now you've understood. Now, in this case, when the trader wants to take opportunities in an uptrend market, we said the trader needs to long the market. And then when the trader wants to search for opportunity in a downtrend market, we said the trader needs to short the market. Now, what is the difference between longing and shorting, or what is the meaning of longing and shorting? What is the meaning of longing and shorting? Pay attention to this. So now, when we talk of longing the market, like I've explained to you, when we talk of longing the market, it simply means that the trader is predicting the price of cryptocurrencies to rise in value. The trader is predicting the price of cryptocurrencies to rise in value. So once I intend to go on long, it simply means that my focus is on the fact that the market is going to rise. The market is going to do what? Is going to rise. Now, once I focus on shorting the asset, it simply means I am focusing on the market going to what? Drop. Hmm? So you see, unlike the spot market, where the trader would only have to focus on buying low and selling high, over here, the trader takes advantage over two directions of the market. Over here, the trader takes advantage over two directions of the market. So I buy the assets or I short the market when the asset is dropping in value. And then also I long the assets when the market is rising in value. If you've understood this, give me one in the chat. If you've understood longing and shorting, give me one in the chat. If you've understood longing and shorting in the market, give me one in the chat. If you've understood longing and shorting in the futures market, give me one in the chat. If you've understood longing and shorting in the futures market, give me one in the chat. Give me one in the chat. Give me one in the chat. If you've understood concept of longing and shorting, give me one in the chat. Hmm? Now you need to master this lesson on the futures market. You need to master this lesson on the futures market, right? You need to master this lesson on the futures market. It is very, very important. It is very, very, very important, right? Now, let's proceed. Let's proceed. When it comes to trading on the futures market, I understood that I need to have a leverage. I need to long the market. So now you know what we mean to long or short the market. You know what you mean to take a leverage. So your leverage will be based on your capital, right? Now, another thing too that I have to talk about the leverage, which is also introduce a new term to you, the trader, is that when we talk of leverage, based on how you've understood the leverage, one interesting thing about the leverage is that it is the leverage that gives you the power to generate profits. It is the leverage that gives the trader the power to generate fast profit. At the same time, it is the leverage that gives the trader the power to lose some money. Now, once I said profit, someone was so excited. Once I said to lose some money, the person is saying, "Hey, why? Why are you saying losses here?" But I didn't you people tell us that you people inform us that in trading or using the bot, there are no losses here. Someone is about to act that. Someone is saying in his mind, but you told us that using the boat, there are no losses. Yes, of course, using the boat, there are no losses on the futures market. So you need to understand the trading on the futures market. Hmm? You need to understand what entails trading on the futures market because the futures market is what? It's an advanced market. It's what? It's an advanced market. So what is so unique about the futures market then? If there are losses, what is so unique about the futures market? So now let me take time to explain it to you. Let me take time to explain this to you. So we said, once you are using leverage, the leverage will give you the power to generate more profit, and the leverage will also give you the power to lose more money. Why? Because the higher your leverage, the more profit you can do what you can make, and then at the same time, the higher your leverage, the faster. Did I say the higher your leverage, the more profit? No, let me use this word. The higher your leverage, the faster profit you can make, and then also the higher your leverage, the faster losses you can also run. Because when the trader long the market, listen, if I long this market, it simply means I'm predicting the rise of the asset. Notwithstanding, when the market goes against my trade, which simply means it will go on short. Once it goes on short, it simply means something is going to happen against my trade. And if the price is not able to reverse back, you know, in trading, there's what we call break of structure and change of character. Okay. Or let me use the word pullback. There is always a possible price reversal. Now, when price reverses in the market, two things happen. Either a trader waits to hit his target or he loses his trade. In the futures market, when there is pullback or price reversal, the trader waits for the price to get back to his target, or if it never returns back to his target, he may lose the trade. So, in losing the trade, we term it as what? As liquidation. We term it as liquid. That's the reason why I said the futures market is a contract market. It's what? It's a contract market. So, how does the contract work? So, over here, when I'm explaining the futures market, I go deeper as long as using the banking system of giving loan to explain the futures market to the trader. I go as deeper as using the banking system of giving loan to the trader. So now, at the bank, this is what happens at the bank. In futures trading happens at the bank to which you are not aware. To which you are not what? Aware. Now, on in the bank, when someone goes to the bank to borrow or lend or go for a loan, okay, when you go for a loan at the bank, this is what happens. Before the loan is given to you, before the loan is given to you, there is an agreement that you have to pay. You will pay back. Listen, you will pay back. Now, how are you going to pay back? You are going to use this loan given to you to work to bring back the money given to you. Now, in a case where you are not able to pay, the bank trusts you. They said you are too good. They know you. My dear, we love you. We know you are too good. You are too genuine. You are so trusted. You are trustworthy. We can trust you enough. In as much as we can trust you, we will need what we call collateral. Hmm? We will need what we call collateral. Now, why is it that the bank trusts you, yet they are seeking or asking for collateral? Because the banks know that anything can happen. You can lose the loaned money or you can use it to make more profit. This is what the banks know. They know of two things. So far as money is concerned, wherever there is money, because money is a liquid asset. Okay, money is a liquid asset, so it flows in gains or it also flows in losses. So either you gain profit or you lose money. That is two aspects of money. Hmm? So it's either someone is gaining money or is losing money. So the bank trusts you very well. They know that anything is possible. There is a possibility that one of this will happen. So the bank said, okay, if that is the case, bring a collateral, give us some amount of money, or set up a property that we can use that property as our collateral. So the property that you are setting, either it's your house, it's your land, it's your car, you are using it as collateral. In case you are not able to pay the money, if you are not able to pay, it simply means you've lost the money you loaned. They loaned you. You've lost the money they loaned you. So once the contract is lost, or the contract is not being the contract is not able to work out, the next thing they'll have to do is to sell out the collateral property. Then they will take their amount back. So in the form of taking the amount back, we call it liquidation. We call it liquidation. Now, this is the exact thing that happens in the futures market. So when the trader is trading on the futures market, the expectation is to make profit, right? The expectation is to make profit. So in as much as you are expecting to make profit, when the target is not triggered or you couldn't make it to your target and you loses the target, you will be liquidated. You will be liquidated. So in the process of getting liquidated, what happens to the liquidation amount is that they are going to use your real money to use as the collateral, which is called margin amount of money or margin. They're going to use your margin to pay for the collateral. And the process of they paying is what we call it as, we term it as what? Liquidation. While they are using that money, that margin to pay for their loan, that is what we term it as what? As liquidation. If you've understood that, give me one in the chat. I'm taking time to explain these things to you. If you've understood this, give me one in the chat. If you've understood what we term the liquidation, the meaning of the liquidation, give me one in the chat. If you've understood the meaning of the liquidation, give me one in the chat. If you've understood the meaning of liquidation, give me one in the chat. If you've understood the meaning of liquidation, give me one in the chat. Give me one in the chat. I guess someone is not following this lesson. If you've understood this, the meaning of liquidation, give me one in the chat. Give me one in the chat. All right. All right. We can proceed now. We can proceed. Very good. We can proceed. Now, once we discuss about the liquidation, someone is saying, hey, then the futures market is so strange. It is so serious. You see, you see, once we said that, then you'll be liquidated. Someone say, hey, then the futures market is risky. Nothing is so easy in this life. Everything is risky. But how you are able to use it becomes either safe for you or more riskier. So the amazing thing is that when it comes to trading on royal field using this, but using trading on the futures market using royal field, there are special means the trader can utilize the bot to trade on the futures market. So now the confidence have been given to every trader using trading on the futures market is that when it comes to trading on the futures market, what is the assurance of profit gains and the assurance of losses in the market. Now, manual traders have the chances of making 50-50 losses, 50% profit, 50% loss. It simply means your loss and your profit is unsure. But when it comes to using the bot, I can guarantee the trader that out of every 100 trades that you trade, your chances of winning in the market is going to be 90%, and then your chances of losses is going to be 10% in the market. This is amazing. This is amazing. Out of every 100 trades that you have in the market, I can agree, I can assure you that your chances of making profit in this market is 90% profit, and then maybe 10% loss. That is a strategy. So what is so unique here? The uniqueness of this board is that over here we are using different strategies to which you know. Hmm? So over here we are going to discuss about strategies here. Now we have two different strategies when it comes to trading on the futures market. We have what we call hedge mode, and then also one shot. Sorry, did I say one way mode? Okay, we have one way mode, and then also hedge mode. One way mode and then hedge mode. So now listen, on Royal Kill, we use this hedge mode. What is one way mode in the first place? When we talk of one way mode, it's simple. When we talk of one way mode, it's simple. Now, when a trader is using one way mode, let's assume let's assume the trader is having $100 capital in the market. With this $100 capital in the market, once the trader sets up the trade with all these $100, that is all. That is all. Once the trader sets up this $100 capital in the market, that is all. Meanwhile, you and I, we've understood a lesson in the market that there is a simple way of making profit in the market by applying what we call dollar cost averaging. And when we talk of dollar cost averaging, this is the means the trader can divide its capital into different sections and buy the trade in different batches. This means out of the $100, I can go into the market with $10 first. With $10 first. Then when the market is going against me, I go into the market with another $20. Another $20 until my $100 gets exhausted in the market. But when I'm having one way mode, I'm applicable to only use my capital once in the market. So if I use $100, I cannot be able to add up again. It's only $100. So if I have the opportunity to even win more in the market, I won't be able to do that because I have my strategy set up to what? To one way mode. Right? Now, aside that, with the one way mode, let's assume I go on long. I won't be able to seize the opportunity to go on short again. That is the meaning of the one way mode. So I have opportunity to go on only one side of the market. I have opportunity to go on only one side of the market. So let's assume I am on long position. The market is going against me. There is a price reversal in the market, or there is a pullback, or there is a change of character in the market. Now, since there is a change of character in the market, I have the opportunity to assess the market and make profit on the opposite direction of the market. But once I'm using one way mode, I won't be able to have that opportunity to make profit in the market. So the trader can use hedge mode. When we talk of hedge mode, it simply means when I'm on long position, I can also go on short position. When I'm on long position, I can also go on short position at the same time. So a trade that is on long, let's assume, let's assume that I open up a trade on Solana. So I am on long here. I am on long on Solana. I can still decide to open another trade on Solana on short. So on the same Solana, I can decide to go on short. That is hedge mode. So since there are opportunities in all sides of the market, I will definitely make profit on one side of the market. If you've understood the hedge mode, give me one in the chat. If you've understood the hedge mode, give me one in the chat. If you've understood the hedge mode, give me one in the chat. If you've understood the hedge mode, give me one in the chat. Give me one in the chat. If you've understood the hedge mode, give me one in the chat. Give me one in the chat. Give me one in the chat. If you've understood the hedge mode, give me one in the chat. You see, all right. So let's proceed. You know, so when you are using the hedge mode, it makes your trading to be the first thing that I love about the hedge mode is that one, it's flexible. So using the bot, you're able to use flexible strategies to trade and generate what? Profit. You are able to use flexible strategies to trade and generate profit. So flexible. So whenever we are talking about flexibility, okay, flexible, and then it's profitable, then on the futures markets, then we can never bargain than to discuss about the hedge mode. So when the market is going against you, you hedge the trade. And I didn't always talk of hedging. Hedging means giving power to something, setting up a break. You are hedging, you are seeking for strength. So in the case of the futures market, the hedge mode helps the trader to gain flexibility in the market and then also strengthen in terms of what profitability. So you are focusing on more profit and at the same time flexible trade. Do you understand? Do you understand? Do you understand? Very good. Very good. All right. So now let's proceed. Let's proceed. Now the next thing too that you need to know, the next thing that you need to know is also margin calls, which I'll talk less about that. Margin calls. What I always want traders to do is to learn how to do what we call transfer of what knowledge. Transfer of knowledge. Now you know the benefit of margin calls. So how does margin calls also help in trading on a futures market? How does margin calls help or benefit in trading on the futures market? Now this is simple. This is simple. When the trader uses margin calls, we know that the margin call help the trader to one keep buying at new prices anytime the market goes against you. Both on the spot market and the futures market, it's about creating new average price, right? It's about creating new average price. And the average price helps you to control the market. Okay. So what makes it so unique here is that with the futures market open margin calls, it prevents you from getting what we call fast liquidation or liquidation. Fast liquidation. Why am I talking about fast liquidation? Because if you don't have margin calls open, the probability that when the market goes against you, Because you don't have any average price created, you can easily be liquidated in the market. You can easily be liquidated in the market. But once you open up margin calls, now you are free to go. Now you are free to go. You can last long in the market whilst you also enjoy profit on your top sales. You can last long in the market whilst you also enjoy profit on your top sales. So now, how do I set up a trade on my futures account or on Royal Kill? How do I set up a trade? So quickly, let's do that fast. Let's do that fast. So this evening, I just want to use this opportunity. How do I set up a trade? Are you following? Are you following? Let's look at how you set up a trade. You set up one trade, then we call it a day or a night. Are you following? Are you following? There's only one person that is following the lesson. Are you following? Very good. Very good. So let's move on to setting up a trade. Then we'll set up one trade. Then we move on. Okay. Let's move on to setting up a trade. You set up one trade. Then we call it a night. Hello. Am I loud and clear on the line? Yes, I don't know that it's network. Can you hear me? All right. All right. That's good then. Seems a call interrupted. All right. So let's proceed. Let's proceed. So now let's go. Let's go to Royal Kill. Let's go to Royal Kill. Let's go to Royal Kill. So we have Royal Kill here. Let's go. So okay. So let's get an one affect. Okay. Um. All right. So this Royal Kill, right? Good. So over here we have spots and then futures. We have spots and then futures. You click on futures, then so when I set here now, so you click on create, then you click on understand. After clicking on create, clicking on understand, we have long here, we have short here. Mind you, research on the futures market, it's more of prediction going on a long market or a short market. Okay, going on long or short, going on long or short. So over here, let's assume we are going on short. Okay, let's assume we are going on short. So you click on trade settle. On trade settle, you click on manually create. Okay. So there is one thing that I want to focus here. You set up a trade, then we call it a night. Okay. So now the calculation here, we said If you want to trade on the futures market, setting up a trade on the setting up you come to manual create. By clicking on manually create, you get a strategy. So let me use this. Okay. So then the next one is you check your first buy amount. You can see 355,000 ships. 355,000 ships. What does it mean? 355,000 ships. So what it simply means is simple. This simply means that the minimum value that you can enter here is 355,000 ships. So you don't actually know the equivalent amount of 355,000 ships. Take notice of this. You don't know the equivalent value of 355,000 ships. You don't know the actual value of 355,000 ships in USDT. So what we do next is that we come here, we check the current price. So the current price of this asset is 0.04088, right? So let me use that. So let's take our calculator, 0.014088. That is what I saw. So let's go back. Now we click on trade settle, manually create. So, okay. All right. So let's see. Let's get our strategy right there. Then your leverage. So let's do the calculation. 356. Let's take the calculator times 3356, which is going to give you 5.01 USDT or 5 USDT. 5 USDT. So let's assume, let's increase it to 1,000. That is going to give you 14. So let me see, 19,000 or 267. So let's look at 3,000. 3,000 is going to get 42.2, right? So when you come here, over here, you're going to enter 3,000, which is 42.2. 3,000. Please, you will not come here and enter 42.2. You are entering 3,000. Why 3,000? Because you want to go with a minimum amount of what? Of $42. You are going into the market with a minimum of what? $42. That is the reason why you entered 3,000 here. So the $42.2 or USDT is equivalent to 3,000 ships. Do you understand? Now the next thing is your leverage. So at least 5x. We've discussed the leverage already. So 5x, you come to take profits. At least 1% or 2% is okay. So 2%. Now, the reason why I focus and keep telling traders that it's important for you to minimize your leverage is that when you reduce your leverage to at least 1% to 2%, you'll be able to, your trade will be able to deliver faster in the market or fast in the market for you. 1 to 2% or at most 3% is okay. You'll be able to make consistent profit even in a day. So let's come here. Now you set everything up. You set everything up. So you scroll down. So it's on one shot. Now, there are only circumstances you can put your asset on one shot, especially when the market is dipping or the asset is dropping in value, and you know when you short the market, you can repeat the cycle. You can repeat it for at least twice, 2 times or 3 times. It's fine. Rather than that, focus on one shot. Hmm? So you click on save, you confirm, then you come here, you do what? You change it to start mode real time settlement. Good. Start mode real time settlement. Once you set up this trade, you are free to go. You are free to go. You are free to go. Let's take another asset. So the market dumped, and I know it's going to do miracles again. So let's get one nice asset. Okay. So where is Solana? Let me see. Okay, so let's get Solana. You see, let's get Solana. So let me check. All right, so long, let's go. So let's click on create. Hmm? So long, so long. Now click on trade setting. Manually create. Manually create. Now let's come here. So let's use a strategy. Let's use this. Everything is intact. You can see, as you can see, everything is set up already because of the strategy set. Our take profit should be 2%. Let's get a little profit there on Solana. Now, let's do the calculation. So present Solana is around 170 USDT. So they said the minimum entry is 0.03. So let's do the calculation and see 170 times 0.03, which is 5 USDT. So let's look at 0.5 USDT, which is 85. It's so much. So let's see 0.4. Okay, let me use 0.5. This is 85 USD. Okay, 85 USD. So 0.5. So 0.5 USDT. Then your AI margin call should be on. Okay, your AI margin call should be on. So let me look at the calculation, which is 0.15. Our multiple buy ratio is 0.15. So do that calculation to see 0.15 multiplied by 85 times 0.15. That is 12.75 USDT. 12.75 USDT. So it simply means anytime the asset drops in value, you are going to buy 12.75. Anytime the asset drops in value, you are going to buy 12.75. Okay. So now let's come here. That is our first buy amount 0.5. The zero point 0.5 Solana is equivalent to 85 USDT. So you change your to starting mode real time settlement. Now let's see it's on one shot. So you click on save, click on activate, then let's go. So activate. All right. So as you can see, we've set up this trade. We already have ton here. You set up a Solana. You set up this trade so in addition to ton. Do you understand? Do you understand? Do you understand? So it's simple. Now you set up your trade already. 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 Hmm? You set up your trade already. Let me check out something here. Okay, the leverage is fine. All right. You set up your leverage already. This is simple. This is what? This is simple. Do you understand? Do you understand? So it's all right. So it's AI margin call. So also take up talk about the margin calls. Thank you. So now the purpose of the AI margin calls is to help you utilize the margin calls and then also buy them for you, right? So turn it's important for you to turn on your AI margin calls. Yeah. Okay. So I guess it's very simple. You can set up the Solana trade. You can set up the Solana trade. You can set up the Solana trade. If you have any questions, you can feel free to ask. You can set up the Solana trade. Just by tomorrow morning it will deliver. You can set up the Solana trade. So I guess it's simple and very clear. So I intend to make this evening lesson very short. So after certain, okay, so someone is asking, after certain, what will you now be waiting for? After certain, what will you now be waiting for? I don't get your question. So after setting up your trade, you are trading. So you are done, right? After setting up your trade, you are trading, so you are done. So does um even the leverage work on margin calls? Yes, so we said it is we said the leverage work on, so it is the margin call that helps to create new average price. And it simply means it works on the leverage. It works on the leverage. So the leverage works on the margin calls. Yeah. All right. So I guess there is one hand up. Let me unmute you for you to ask your question. So please, you've been asked on mute, so ask your question.
Hello, Coach Manuel.
Very much. Yeah, for the powerful training. Now, actually, we've been trying to set up futures trading, and we've been making some good money. Now, last time I asked you a question, and it went like this: if I'm trading more than one coin, and one coin gets liquidated, what is going to happen to other assets? And you told me to will only liquidate that one coin. Other assets will remain okay. But unfortunately, we went full board, and when one asset got liquidated, unfortunately, all the other assets got liquidated. So please shed more light about that. Thank you.
All right, come again, come again.
So we were trading one coin, and I asked you last time that, you know what is going to happen if I trade more than one coin, and one coin gets liquidated? What will happen to other coins? And you said, no, there's no any problem. So I had my leaders, then we went full board, and we traded like 3 coins, and one coin got liquidated. But when one coin got liquidated, every the other asset we are trading also got liquidated. Yes. So
all right,
said
let
more
me
light about that.
Okay. Now this is simple. You are trading on. So my screen is shared, right? You can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the asset that we just opened. We've just opened up a trade here. Look at it this way. We've set tone here. This is tone. We've also set another trade, which is Solana. Now the question is, if Solana should be liquidated now, does it affect tone? Please, is that not your question? Is that not your question?
Yes.
So you see, it's simple. If Solana liquidates, that does not mean that unless otherwise, the market is going against all the 2 positions at the same time. But there is no way that because Solana is getting liquidated, it simply means I'm also going to get liquidated on Ton. No. This is very clear. You are trading on different assets. Every asset has its own potential in terms of rising and falling. Every asset has its own volatility. Hope you know that. So since all assets have different volatility, the rate at which they rise and fall, that does not mean that once a particular asset liquidates, it simply means all the other assets are going to be liquidated. Now, this can only happen when all the assets are, so the market goes against all the 3 trades at the same time. That's when it can only be possible that way. But it's not automatic that once this particular trade Solana gets liquidated, it simply means the turn 2 should be liquidated. Automatically, it doesn't make sense. You get it?
Yes, leader, I get it, but I don't know what went wrong. Because even we got that letter, we always get from Binance when one asset gets liquidated, that we are very sorry, asset so and so, and this one so and so, and so and so got liquidated. You know that letter you always get from Binance Direct. It came all once with 3 coins when they are all liquidated at once.
Well, so I may not know the cause of that, but we all have the listening ears to learn and then explain here. So just like
someone is saying here. Okay, sorry, Leader Emma. Someone is saying here, maybe it will only happen is when you trade in what? In cross margin. So we are not supposed to trade in cross margin mode.
No. So hold on. So I thought that happened when you are trading in the cross margin mode. No. Listen, when you are using cross margin, every asset has its own position, and automatically we are using cross margin. Listen to this. Listen, this asset, I still want to use this trade as an example for you to pay attention and listen to this. Pay attention and listen to this. Now look at this trade. When this trade is to get liquidated, it's because the threshold amount that is holding or the threshold amount has been too low for the market to contain. That is when I get liquidated. Notwithstanding, I still have an ongoing position here. Do you get it? So once the asset gets liquidated, I still have my asset in this threshold, that is the term. So that's the reason I'm saying that there is no way that the asset, one trade that you set, would liquidate unless otherwise. Like I'm saying, maybe you are using the I don't know, but that is what I can tell you for now.
Okay, thank you very much, Leader Emma, for that explanation.
All right. And then moreover, to let me throw more light on the cross margin. Yes, we work on cross margin. And the reason why cross margin works here is that is the purpose of the margin calls. Because with isolated margin, there is no margin call. I've explained this here. Whoever that is trading on isolated margin don't have the opportunity to open margin calls. Pay attention to this. Whoever have the opportunity to use isolated margin cannot have access, cannot have access to margin calls. It's simple as that. So over here, if you want to enjoy the benefit of margin calls to create new average prices, then it is cross margin. That is the reason why Royal Q uses cross margin. Yes. So one thing is that what I would say in next to cross margin is that now when you are using cross margin, let's assume all your capital is $1,000. Okay, all your capital is $1,000. When you set up and you want to expose $500 to the market, let the remaining $500 be in your funding wallet. Let the remaining $500 be in your funding wallet. It's simple as that. If not, it will add up all the $1,000 to trade. So you always need to exempt a part of your trade from the market. So whatever money that you are exposing to the market, expose that money alone and then set the rest aside, unless it becomes needful for you to do what? Add it up. Please mute your call. That is it. So when you are using cross margin, please understand that you are not supposed to keep all your money in your futures account. You have to set up those money that you want to use to trade. Then the rest should be in your funding wallet or your spot wallet. All right. So someone is asking, can I pause the trade and activate it when the trade has gone in my favor? No. No. Once you pause the trade, it will close in your exchange automatic. Once you pause the trade, it will close in your exchange automatic. All right. So the next person. So hey bro, you can ask your question. Your hand is up. If you have any question. Hey bro, you can ask your question.
Hello, Leader Emma.
Hello.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well done. I really appreciate your class. When we calculate the FBA for that future for the FBA for the coin, I thought you in your previous classes you said we will now go back to the FBA to change it, but today it's like you did not change it.
Come again.
the FBA first buy amount, we normally calculate it from using the calculator to calculate it. So that we'll now use that figure to set it for the first buy amount. So after doing that, that we calculate the trade. In one of your classes, you said we'll now go back there and change it back. Otherwise, the robot will continue to use that as the first. I use that for the margin calls.
Then I think you didn't get me well, or maybe that's not my class. Okay. So in my previous class, I've been consistent on this, that the first thing that you need to do is the calculation. Okay. So once you've done your calculations right, so let's assume you come here, you click on create, then you click on trade pattern. I only focus on this amount, that is this amount, the minimum entry. So once you do your calculation here, that is 250, you check the current price to multiply. Then the amount you want to enter here, you come here to enter it. If you want to enter 5,000, you come here to enter it there. But in my class, I've never discussed about you coming back to change the FSBA again. You get it? I only focus and talk about your margin calls. And once you set up the margin calls and you set up your trade on AI, your AI margin calls are on, that is all. Your margin calls will be bought automatic.
What maybe you didn't get me. What I'm trying to say is that subsequent multiple ratio that the robot will buy, will it be buying at that first FBA amount?
You've already opened margin calls. Listen, you've already opened margin calls. So this is your margin call. So let's assume this is the margin call. That is 0.7. So what is going to be 0. So that is 0.7. That is the multiple buy-in ratio. Is 0.7 of your FBA. You get it? So there is no need for you to come and change it again.
Okay.
That is it. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, leader Emma. Emma.
Hello.
Yes, sir. I'm back again. Sorry. Now I need you to please to shed more light on this. Now, I've been monitoring my trades, and when this bot puts the first call, the liquidation price is a bit far. When he puts in another second call, it comes a bit closer. Maybe now let me say, if I'm trading Solana, now if the first call, it has been maybe liquidation price, it has been at 100. When he puts in a second call, it comes to maybe 110. Now that thing is confusing me, because whenever he puts in a call, the liquidation price keeps on coming closer. Can you please shed more light on that?
All right. So now, on top of the liquidation price, the liquidation price would depend on the direction you've set up your trade to, or your position. Either you are on long or you are on short. Okay. Now, the purpose of the liquidation price is to help you stay away from liquidation, because once the liquidation price is triggered, you are going to be liquidated. So let's assume you are on long here. Solana is 170, right? Solana is 170. You are on long. It simply means once the market go on short, once the market drop, you are expecting liquidation, right? Good. In this case, let's assume this is your liquidation price. Let's say 70. So if you're on long, your liquidation price will never come to 80 or 90. It will reduce, so that it will rather stay it away from what? From the your position amount getting liquidated. So your question that you are asking, it will based on your direction. Maybe you are on long. Listen, when you are on long, your expectation to your liquidation price will be different from when you are on short. You get it? So if someone is on short, and if let's say it is 70, it has to be increasing. If you are on long, it has to be decreasing. So it may depend on your direction or your position. Either you are on long or short. Please, do you get me?
Yes, I get you very well. Like the way you've explained that, you see, if I'm on long and the liquidation price has been at 70, But when the market is dropping and puts in another call, it comes to 80 now. That thing's the one which was confusing me.
Yeah, so I guess now you get it.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
All right. Okay, so I think that is all. Let me see if there are any questions in the chat box. Okay, so is leverage applied on the FBAI? Please refer to our example of today. Yes, so that is what we are explaining. So anytime you buy the new assets, it also increases your leverage amount. That is if you buy a new asset, it increases your leverage amount. All right. So because without that, there is no way you get a new liquidation price. Even without that, there is no way you get a new liquidation price. That is what you should take note of. Okay, so raise your hand and let me see you so that I can unmute you. Raise your hand so that I can unmute you. You need to raise your hand. So raise your hand so that I can unmute you. Okay, maybe. Well, I don't know. So, my dear lady, is it? Please unmute me. I have a question. So please, you have to raise your hand so that I can unmute you. Other than that, I will not be able to see you. All right. So, guys, I think that is all. If you have any question, you can feel free to ask. But if there is no question, if God permits, tomorrow, same time in the evening, we'll still meet again. Okay, and we'll go more on the calculations like the liquidation price, the average price, so that some of these questions that you are asking, we can throw more light on them for you to get clarity. Okay, for you to get clear answers for that. So I think this way time will permit us to end this evening session. If God permits, tomorrow we will meet again. Notwithstanding, if you have any challenge, try your best that when you meet, you ask your question. So is this maybe she don't know how to raise the hand. Oh really? Then how do we go by that? Because I'm not able to see you there. Uh, I can't see you there. All right, very good. Let's move the market. So, yeah, the market is there for us. So we just need the knowledge, and after getting the right knowledge, we can go in the market with full vigor to make the necessary profits we need to make. The most important thing is we should ensure we are gaining knowledge to make money. Okay. The most important thing is we ensure we are gaining the right knowledge or the necessary knowledge to make money. So guys, late it's 7:30 in Ghana, 8:30 in Nigeria, and I'm sure my other countries too. It's around 10 o'clock or 10:30 there. So if God permits tomorrow, we'll still meet again. I wish you all the best in your trading journey and have a good night. All right. Love you all.